Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name's Taddy. I'm an astrologer and I make videos on astrology, self-growth, self-care, self-love. So if that interests you, please continue watching, please subscribe. And in this video, I'm going to share the story of how I became an astrologer. If you're interested in becoming an astrologer, or if you just want to hear more of my own story and my journey. And yeah, I'm going to make this a more casual sit-down video. So go grab some tea, go grab some coffee, let's chat. It's been a very interesting journey for myself. So if you didn't know, I'm in the middle of my Saturn return. My Saturn is in Aquarius at 2 degrees, so I passed the most difficult part of my Saturn return, which is the exact degree. But yeah, before this happened, I got into let's first start with how did I get into astrology? So it's been quite a few years. I was always very intrigued by it. A lot of people couldn't tell I was a Leo, and sometimes I didn't feel like I was a Leo because the characteristics of a Leo was very outgoing, very warm, very inviting. I mean, I would say I have those characteristics, but I felt as though a lot of the stigma behind Leos was that they're so out there in terms of their self-expression. And I learned later why this was. I have Chiron in Leo, but I also have other signs. You have your moon sign, you have your rising sign. And so throughout my life, I just really was confused about being a Leo, and I still felt like it resonated, but it took me a while to really learn about my moon sign and my rising sign. And if I backtrack a bit, I got more interested in it around, I would say, 2016. But what really fascinated me personally was that I dated a Scorpio, and it was just very interesting because we had such conflicting modalities, and well, it's a different element, and I could tell that it was just so intriguing to me. And then I dated another Scorpio after my first ex. I dated another Scorpio, and I thought this was a very interesting pattern I was doing, and I learned more about myself through those relationships. But it wasn't until I fully understood why I was attracting Scorpios into my life, because I attracted so many Scorpios. Like, it was just left, right, and center. It was just so interesting to me. And once I finally understood my moon sign, my rising sign, and that you have a whole birth chart, everything made sense to me. And I just remember learning about my moon sign, and this is why like my community is called Moon Sign Creative, because I really feel like your moon sign is one of the most important placements that you need to nurture, because it's how you like to be nurtured, right? And my moon sign's in Cancer, so once I learned that, I realized why I had such emotions. I had such deep emotions. I had such great intuition. I also had just, I had a lot of high highs and I had a lot of low lows. And it was just this emotional roller coaster that I didn't understand fully. And it also made more sense with me dating Scorpios because there was this moon to sun sign compatibility. And I'll go more into compatibility in another video, but it was just super interesting to me. So how I got into like just becoming an astrologer was there were a lot of life changes that were happening. So during my second relationship, I started to study astrology quite often, and I realized like, okay, this is something that is so interesting to me. This is so amazing. I just didn't know you could learn so much, that you had all the zodiac signs in your birth chart, that you just could tell so much about a person through this and just have a conversation about it. And then that relationship didn't work out and I went through a hard breakup, and this breakup changed me. It shattered me, and then it cracked me open, and it made me realize like how much I just needed to self-express myself, how much I needed to go into astrology and do things for myself and fully just explore my creativity. So I did a birth chart reading. I had a birth chart reading from an amazing mentor who was a mentor to me for most of my astrology career and my first mentor. When I got a birth chart reading from her, it all made sense. Everything made sense, and it made sense as to why my life was so chaotic, why I was attracting certain relationships into my life, why I was just so confused about why I was going through such hard, difficult lessons. And a lot to do with my father because my father passed away when I was young. So it was a lot of healing work that I still had to do and uncover so that I could break ancestral trauma, so that I could break cycles. And I didn't know that at that time, but that birth chart reading actually like propelled me to really study deeper and study astrology at a much faster rate than I expected. I remember I told my second ex at that time before we broke up that maybe I'll become an astrologer in about, when I'm old, maybe when I'm like 70. And then I became an astrologer within a few years after that first initial birth chart reading because it helped me really understand myself better. It helped me really understand, wow, I could really help people heal through this process because that one birth chart reading really helped me gain a better perspective of my life, of myself, of why I had to go through the difficult things I did and why I needed to really reparent myself. And it was a very interesting trajectory. So after that reading, this was like 2019, I started to really deeply study astrology. After that, I took a lot of courses and classes with that first mentor. And then I was doing that for a full year. I currently at that time was trying to build a business in terms of moon sign supplies. So it's not currently existing at the moment, but I had a supply company, so notebooks and tote bags, all based on your zodiac sign. And that was a very interesting journey, but I realized like it wasn't what I really wanted to do at the core. I just really wanted to connect to people. I am a Libra rising, so I really wanted to connect to other people and help them heal. And so basically then after that journey, I realized I'm just gonna really deep dive into astrology and study for a year and get good, practice reading charts. And I did that. I took a lot of courses, I took a lot of workshops, I read a lot of books. So that first year was just me really learning more about myself, learning more about how to get into birth chart readings and how I could give birth chart readings. And then finally in 2021, I launched my astrology practice right near my Saturn return, which is amazing. So I launched my astrology practice January of 2021, and that was life changing. So I put out my work, I started to give birth chart readings, and then I studied with another mentor as well during that time. So my second mentor, and she's been such an amazing teacher and friend to me. So I feel like it's so important to study with mentors that you really respect, that you really resonate with their energy, that have really helped you heal. And so I studied with her for throughout 2021. I'm still studying with her now, but it's more so like, any specific questions that I have. But it's been amazing. It's been such an interesting journey. And yeah, I really thought I was holding myself back for a long time though. I want to admit that because I just didn't feel good enough. I had a lot of imposter syndrome. I felt afraid to really show others that I was doing this because I didn't want other people to think, like people I knew in high school or people I knew growing up, that I was just so afraid of what people would think of me, and also creating my YouTube channel and putting that out there. So that was very interesting. I had to get over that fear. And the best thing to get over fear, I would say, is just to take small steps every single day, and eventually you have to jump. You would have to jump and just like show your work to the world, start posting YouTube videos if you wanted to, or post on your Instagram, or make a story about it, and do a lot of practice readings too if you are starting to get into birth chart readings. But I would always recommend doing practice readings for friends or for people interested, and then yeah, see what comes from that, because that will help you gain more confidence in yourself. The more often you do it, the more confident you would be. And I also recommend getting readings from other astrologers too, because I remember the first year I bought like, I don't know, I bought like at least 2 or 3 readings every month because I wanted to learn different perspectives. I wanted to learn from other astrologers because I felt like it was so important for me to gain different perspectives and know which perspective I wanted to take for myself. So that really helped me determine how I was my own astrologer and what perspective I brought to the table too. So I hope that helps. I hope that was an interesting journey. It was to me. It was definitely to me. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions about my journey, because I would love to help anyone who's going through that process, who is interested in starting their astrology practice, because yeah, it's definitely been interesting. I know a few people in the moon sign creative community, the community I have, they're also starting their astrology practices too. So I'm always there to encourage people, or to, you know, answer questions if you are a part of the community. So if you want to join in and you just want to practice reading charts, we do that for the full moon events. So you can check out the Patreon link down below if you want to join in. It's super fun. It's so fun. And yeah, let me know if this was helpful and which videos you want to see next. And if you'd like a one-on-one birth chart reading from me, you could check out the link down below as well. And yeah, let me know what video you want to see next. And I just want to say the universe has your back, and peace and love.